Welcome back to the One Line Away podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Tyler Weber.
And this is Cassie Weber. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about sacrifice. And this isn't the type of sacrifice that is celebrated, but the kind that's lonely, exhausting, and often unseen. When we decided that we were ready to try to have kids, you obviously know that there is a bit of sacrifice coming up. You know that having a child has sacrifices. And when you decide that that's a sacrifice in your life that you're ready to make, it's exciting, it's celebrated, it's seen everywhere. And unfortunately, when you're on this side of that, the sacrifices become such a different narrative. I mean, there's so much to this whole topic, and it's one that I feel like is hard to go in gently, because this is more of like a serious topic, because it's hard to be positive about it. And if you're in this and you feel like you are so unseen in what you're going through, or people aren't grasping how much this is affecting your life, you sit in so much loneliness. And if you need that today, hopefully this episode, when it finds you, hopefully you get to sit with us and vent and feel, and also feel just maybe a tiny bit better about this whole situation.
That opening sentence of "it's not a celebration" just sums it up right there. Right? You think you're sacrificing for something that you're hoping to be a celebration, but a lot of it you're sacrificing for a shot. And doesn't always come out to be what you want in the end.
This journey has been the most exhausting thing we've ever gone through.
Yeah.
And it's not like a hard day at work. Like, we're doing life things on top of this thing that dangles in front of our lives every single day. And that alone is like meant to be seen and meant to be just a little bit more gentleness towards a couple that's going through this, because we, you just don't know when you're gonna break the ice, like get through it. Mm-hmm. We sit in a weird spot in our lives where there has been so much that has gone wrong in our journey personally, that it's really hard to find or have consistent faith that you will get to see through to the other side. It's hard. I mean, so many people even in our lives have gotten to see it through to the other side, and it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen for us, but it also doesn't mean that we know that it will. Like, we still don't know. And it's exhausting. That alone is so exhausting. Our life as a marriage has been put on hold. And yes, there's things that you can control / not control. But when you enter into a season of, unfortunately, going through infertility, when you're on this side of the spectrum, when you put your life on hold, it is not to be taken lightly. Like, this isn't just something that you can wish away. I think if we go into a little bit about our situation, I feel like we've cut ourselves open so many times, and we've bled out so many times, quite literally. We've sacrificed everything that we could have personally. We had it all. You know, quote unquote, what life looks like when you have it all can be so different and can be from person to person. Sometimes I wish I could unwant what we want so badly in our hearts, because our life in that lens looked so much, it just felt free. Like, I know that can come across so wrong, but when you're in this depth of where we are, you look at, like, you just feel so shackled by this journey, and you just wish that you could just, like, poof, be gone, live the life that you were living beforehand, because that life was really good. And clearly for us, when we decided, like, our life was really good, and really good things have continued to happen, but unfortunately,
the underlying,
yes, like, we've sacrificed our financial freedom. We've sacrificed our life freedom, that people get the freedom to see through as normal. This identity that we so badly don't want to be held under is one that we currently can't get out of. The shackles are so tight. And if you feel like that, if you feel like how we feel, even on good days, that's still there. And I think too, when you think about sacrifices, I've sacrificed my life, and I've been close to what we won't say. And when you think about that, it just feels so scary. And that's where the fear comes in, is it's like, I've had the worst happen, or one of arguably the worst things to happen, and it could happen again. It's terrifying. But it's a sacrifice that we've both decided is, I mean, we are fighting the fight of our lives, and that's a choice at the end of the day. It's a choice to sacrifice everything that we have, but it doesn't mean that we're wrong for doing that. Like, just because it's been harder for us doesn't mean that we don't deserve to see it through. I think a big one that's been very loud in our journey within not just recently, but the past 4 years, is our career shifts. Like, we've had career detours. We've talked about in the past, like when we talked about the things that have uncontrollably happened to our lives that have caused great hindrance to our journey, this is one that we've kind of glazed over. But when Tyler hit his high of his career, a huge low came. So I don't know. Sometimes you wonder why it's worked the way it has, but you just hope that you can, just like at the end of the day, you want your sacrifice to be worth sacrificing for.
But that's the thing, is we'll never know until it happens. The unknown is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Like, we're sacrificing for the unknown.
Yeah. Like, you don't know if you'll come on top, but you hope you do.
You hope that good things happen during that time of the unknown, but
yeah,
you know, whether that's career change or you create a podcast or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think that's been the hardest part. In our outline, we had something about going in and telling like a story, and like, I'll just jump right into it. I think that is the hardest part. That is the biggest sacrifice, is it's the unknown for the sacrifice. Right? All the other little things, like I'm not happy or I'm depressed or financial freedom or exhaustion, and those are all very big things, and I'm like, that suck. But I think the biggest thing is just like, will I get that?
Yeah.
Will we get that? Are we going to be able to go to kindergarten? Are we going to be able to drop them off at preschool? Are we going to be able to go to T-ball? Are we going to be able to do that stuff? And I think it's the unknown is just the scariest thing.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, and I think you fear that, like, you're sacrificing so much, and you just hope that, like, will we ever be able to be excited about it? Like, will we ever get to be pregnant to where we will get to be excited to be pregnant and to get to see that through? And you just don't know.
It's unknown.
It's been easier for some, harder for others. For us, it's hard to be positive. It's really hard.
That's another one.
We're doing so much better, but
the sacrifice of being positive.
Yeah.
I felt like we were two very positive people.
Yeah, we definitely were.
And now I think, I'm not saying we aren't.
I mean, we're definitely damaged goods, for sure.
Damaged goods.
What did you say?
We're the produce they give out for free.
That's just depressing.
Oh, now we're depressed again.
But it's still edible. So remember
we're still
that.
edible. We are still nutritious.
But isn't that crazy to think in that way? Like, as humorous as that is, it's like, sometimes you do just want to complain.
Oh, yeah.
And vent.
And we do.
And
we get it out.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I still think we need that dream of getting in a room full of people with like-minded people.
Yeah.
We need like a big old convention center with just everyone.
I know.
To be in a room and just...
Could you imagine how incredible?
It would just be like, hey, dude, when you said the unknown, that has been my...
Yeah.
Give me a hug, man. What's your name? I just think that's going to be the best part.
Someday, we hope that we can do that. I think that would be... insane.
I hope we can just keep pushing this into that.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Well, and I think it's like not about just like what we've or like what's happened in our journey or like the topics of this whole sacrifice episode. It's like how it makes you feel is so important to be validated in, because like all of these things that have happened. But it's like when you have to sit in it and be it and breathe it and live it, that's where it gets really difficult in real life. Like real life feelings are so much harder to overcome with a journey like this. Yeah, I mean, there's so many layers with sacrifice, and when you peel back each and every one of them, it kind of feels like a slap in the face. Like when we do these episodes, depending on what the topic is, sometimes they're a breath of fresh air, and then sometimes they're just really heavy. And this one I feel like is a little bit heavier because this is what our life has been. Like when you have to sit in the reality of like, this is what holds me back in our journey, right? Is like when I have to sit in the feelings and the way that this has made me feel or become or changed is where it gets like emotional, because every layer has felt like it was yesterday. When you go through these things, you sometimes block certain things out or / try to, and sometimes you can't. And sacrifice is one where I do struggle with positivity, because when you are sitting in a place where you have wanted and desired a very normal thing in life, in society, however you want to see that, and when you can't get it, and when your story of not getting it is so sad and so negative, where the consequences have been so much harder to recover from, you just feel like an absolute loser, you know? Like, I don't know how else to, like, you're like, we suck so bad at getting to this that it's like, how do you find your worth when you're sacrificing so much of your life and who you are?
Yeah, I think ever since, we've talked about how this podcast brings back up all those memories and how it is hard to go back down that. And ever since we started going to like once every 2 weeks, I feel like for that week and a half, you kind of forget about infertility stuff. The summer's just going on, you're golfing, you're working, you're outside a lot, you're more active, and then once we like sit down to do this, you're like, oh man, like all the feelings come back. I feel like that's specifically today, I feel like that's how that has felt for me. Where it's like, oh yeah,
it's like hard to face it. Like I don't want to face our journey. Like I'm scared of our own journey.
I am too, but this podcast has made it easier to embrace.
I agree.
I think, but if asking me back in November, I would have been like, oh, hell no. Even though I wanted to do the podcast, I think once you realize what the podcast entails, which is like talking about everything and going back down memory lane, which I'm very happy to do and stuff, but I didn't think about, how that would, I know it would have made me feel good.
Yeah.
Right. Being able to talk about it, but also those emotions of having to relive a lot of that stuff is like, whoa, you know, you realize how much you actually have sacrificed. Right?
Everything.
Once you put it down in writing and you talk about it for 20 whatever episodes that we're on, it's like you realize, like, wow, we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, we have sacrificed a lot. We've been through every single one of those emotions time and time again.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want to say that we probably will be back through them, but like...
Yeah. Well, it's just not comfortable. Like the dream of just living life as comfortably as you can given life's trials and tribulations, like what you once had that came easy, you now crave because the other things are so much harder. And it's like just general peace and comfort of life and living day-to-day life becomes so much harder to grasp and like feel secure in.
Yeah.
So when you break down the layers of sacrifice that infertility demands, you are met with so many emotions. Physically, like you sacrifice body changes and you sacrifice health side effects, complications, procedures. Emotionally, you feel like you're in a constant state of grieving. Your anxiety, if you're someone who even struggles with anxiety to begin with, anxiety becomes the biggest enemy that you're constantly fighting. The waiting is so...
The patience.
consuming.
You learn patience very quickly.
Yeah.
She always told me back when we first started dating that I was never patient.
No, and it's gotten even harder. Sacrificing, of course, time, months, years of limbo, financial treatments, just the cost that it takes for someone that can't figure it out naturally. Everything else around that, there's so much to the financial part. Relationally, I mean, loss in friendships or changes in relationships, you know, isolation from your family, your friends, their kids. That's been a big one in our lives. It's just isolation in that way. The pressure on our marriage that shouldn't be pressured. Like it's unfair that our marriage has had to go through this type of strain. And then, of course, I mean, you can end on like dreams. Like your dreams have been shattered and ripped in half and spit on and stomped on, laughed at, mocked. It's a lot. With infertility and loss, it's so heavy. Like it's the biggest weight on your chest. And I just think that, I mean, you're allowed to feel angry. You're allowed to say, this isn't fair. I've had enough right now. Because it wasn't supposed to be like this. Like it didn't, none of us deserve this. I don't care, diagnosed or not. Like this is not fair. And we are allowed to complain and play victim because we are victims sometimes. And this is one that's very real. You know, so this episode doesn't keep going in the direction that it's felt, unfortunately, but it's also very real, is like honoring the sacrifices that we have given, you have given, reflecting on how, I mean, we rarely pause and acknowledge what we've laid down.
I'd say the time, when you first said it, that was like the first one that came to mind. It's so much time. Time and commitment. I would say that the sacrifice to just keep pushing forward. That is a hard one. Because it's, you know, I mean, as you said earlier, why couldn't we have just stopped and kept living our life how we were? But having that desire to still have the family is gives you that motivation to just keep pushing forward even when it's hard, and even when you're 4 years in or more than that. You have to wake up every single day and you're like, man, this sucks. I have to keep going though, because it's just not going to happen on its own.
No. I think that's the part that does bring motivation. Like, the motivation is definitely honorable, because there's been so many times where the white flag has been waved, and somehow, some way, like, that hope is renewed somewhat, and you're motivated to break your odds. And that there's something to be said for that. Our pain, your pain, if you're tuning into this one, it deserves to be witnessed. We've done the lonely route. We've talked a lot about that, and there's still so much more to come with that. But like, I just don't think I just, not to go deep, but like, I don't feel like life is meant to be dealt with alone. Like, I think as humans, we are meant to get through things with people, with loved ones around you. Every story, including ours, deserves space. Whether it's us or someone in your life that you feel safe and comfortable to talk to or share things or drop your veil with, I want to encourage you guys to share one thing that you've sacrificed on this journey that no one really knows about. And just think about that. Sit in that. It can be broad. It can be very specific with your current situation. But I feel like when you really reflect on that, I hope that you almost regain a little bit of power back in such a powerless journey like this. If this episode hit home with you right now, we see you. You're not alone. We are sitting in that seat right next to you, and your story deserves to be honored. And if this is what you needed to hear, listen to it 10 times over if you have to, but you are worthy no matter how worthless you feel. No matter what lies this journey has told you or made you believe, it is very untrue. And we're still scraping by with our shackles, but we're walking it with you.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, guys.